What's up, Matt from Urchfab. Today I thought I'd do a little video on something I've just bought, just because I thought it might interest a few people. My opinion of battery grinders, which is obviously what we got here, is that they are, or my opinion was, that they were dog. I came to that opinion because I had one. I had a Makita one, and it was one of the first ones that they came out with, and it was pretty much useless. So you could cut through a bolt with it, and that was about as far as you could go, in comparison to obviously a corded one. There just was no comparison, so I never used it, and yeah, it was a load of rubbish. But I've been doing a bit of work for a mate of mine, and for the past year or so he's used the Milwaukee cordless grinders, and he doesn't even use a corded one ever. He only uses these Milwaukee ones. So whenever I go over there and do a bit of work for him, I always use his cordless grinders, and I was impressed with what you can actually do with them, how long they would last, and like what you could actually cut with a cordless grinder. So I wanted to buy myself one, but I didn't want to buy the Milwaukee one because all my other stuff is Makita. So this I bought. Basically you get two 5 amp hour batteries, charger, and the grinder, so it just was much cheaper. This kit was about 100 quid cheaper than the Milwaukee kit, and obviously then I've got extra batteries for all my other stuff and a spare charger. So the question is this as good as the, is it as good as the Milwaukee? And that's what I'm gonna find out. Brushless. You can adjust the speed on it, which is nice, feels nice. You can get like a trigger type switch or a normal switch. I always prefer just like the normal switches that you can just click on and stay on. Obviously the trigger ones are a bit safer, but I'll stick a link in the description to it if you're interested, but let's see if it's any good before we do that. Piece of 10mm plate. So there's no way my old one would have cut through that. It would have just kept stalling, and it just wouldn't have done it. I think that'll be a good test. Well, that just cut through 6 inches of 10mm plate. I've used 1 bar of the battery doing that. The other one I had, you go through like, you'd try and cut a bolt and get halfway through the bolt and the battery would be dead. So my thinking was that like the new version of their grinder was going to be on par with the Milwaukee one, because they're all, I think all of the brands like are going to be selling similar stuff. I think like one's always going to have to sort of be able to keep up with the other, otherwise they're not going to sell stuff, are they? So I would actually say that the Milwaukee one is easier to stall than that is. I can push quite hard onto the plate with that, and it takes quite a lot of force to actually slow the disc. Not that you should be pushing onto the disc anyway, but it's got these proper little sort of like gauze vents as well, obviously to stop it sucking the grinding dust in, which is quite nice. They look like they just pop out. Yeah, just little rubber vents, so you can blow those out. That's a good idea, because that's quite often the killer of this stuff, is when it all gets full of grinding grit. A little trick is with your drills and stuff is to run them and then just blow an airline through all the vents, and you'd be amazed at how much dust and crap comes flying out, and might make your drill last a little bit longer. But I'm impressed with that. I've always thought the convenience of battery grinders was obviously great, but my experience of actually using them was that they just weren't worth having. That definitely is worth having, to be able to cut through 6 inches on 1 bar of battery. You know, you might even be able to cut a full strip of that off on one battery, which is yeah, I think pretty impressive. Obviously it doesn't have the power of a corded one, but it's got enough power to get the job done. So yeah, I went for that one, obviously just because I've got loads of Makita stuff and it's convenient. I think the Milwaukee one is good. I know the bearings have gone in my mate's Milwaukee one a couple of times, he's had to replace them. But yeah, I would imagine that they're all, you know, all this stuff's moved along since the last version of the one I had, so I'd imagine they're all going to be fairly capable of similar results. But yeah, I think that's decent. Obviously, put your guard on. I'm in the habit of not using a guard, and obviously I know a lot of people will point that out, but it is what it is. I would recommend that you always use one. Alright, that's it for this one. I just thought I would do a video on that, just in case there's anyone who's had similar experience with the older ones, and you know, that put them off ever getting one. And I thought it would be interesting to see how much they've moved along. It's a shame I didn't still have the old one to do a comparison to show you how bad it was. Yeah, I'll put a link to that in the description. But that is it's definitely going to get a lot of use around the workshop, so good tool to have. That's it for this one. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one.